Have you ever made a mistake and immediately wanted to hide, pretend it never happened, or maybe even subtly blame someone else? If you're nodding your head, don't worry, you're in good company. It's a completely human reaction. That feeling of dread, that hot flush of embarrassment, we've all been there. We live in a world that often seems to demand perfection, so admitting we messed up can feel like admitting failure. But what if I told you that this very act, the one we dread so much, is actually a secret superpower? What if owning your mistakes is the single most powerful thing you can do to unlock personal growth and create incredible opportunities you never thought possible? Stick around, because today we're going to flip the script on mistakes. We're not just going to learn how to face them. We're going to learn how to turn them into our greatest assets. Let's start with a little story. A few years ago, I was managing a really important project at work. The deadline was tight, the stakes were high, and I was the one calling the shots. A week before the final presentation, I realized I had made a major miscalculation in the budget, a huge one. My first instinct, panic. My brain went into overdrive, thinking of ways to downplay it, to shift the numbers, to maybe, just maybe, hope no one would notice. My stomach was in knots. I thought, this is it. They're going to think I'm incompetent. My reputation is ruined. I spent a whole night sleeplessly replaying the error in my head. But then, something shifted. I realized that hiding it would only make things worse. It would be a ticking time bomb, and the explosion would be much bigger later on. So, with a deep breath and a pounding heart, I scheduled a meeting with my boss and the team. I walked in, laid out the problem clearly, and said the 6 most terrifying words in the professional world. This was my mistake, and I'm sorry. The silence in the room was deafening. But then, something amazing happened. My boss didn't yell. My team didn't shun me. Instead, my boss looked at me and said, "Okay, thank you for bringing this to us now. Let's figure out how we fix it." In that moment, the entire dynamic changed. The blame game was off the table. It wasn't my problem anymore. It became our challenge. We brainstormed, we found a creative solution, and we not only met the deadline, but actually came up with a more efficient process because of it. That day, I didn't lose respect, I gained it. By owning my mistake, I turned a potential disaster into a moment of leadership, trust, and innovation. This brings me to the first major reason why taking responsibility is the game changer. It builds trust and integrity. Think about the people you respect most in your life. Are they the ones who never make mistakes, or are they the ones who own up to them when they do? When you admit you were wrong, you're sending a powerful message. You're saying, I value honesty more than my ego. I am reliable, and you can count on me to be straight with you, even when it's hard. This is pure gold in any relationship, whether it's with your boss, your partner, your friends, or your family. Pretending you're perfect creates distance. It makes you seem unapproachable. But admitting you're human, that draws people in. It shows vulnerability, which is the bedrock of genuine connection. The second, and perhaps most crucial, point is that you cannot learn from a mistake you don't admit you made. It's that simple. When we blame external factors, the traffic was bad, my coworker didn't give me the right information, the instructions were unclear, we're essentially giving away our power. We're saying, I was a passive victim of circumstances, and there's nothing I could have done differently. This mindset puts you in the passenger seat of your own life. But when you say, I should have left earlier to account for traffic, or I should have double-checked the information, or I should have asked for clarification, you grab the steering wheel. Suddenly, you have agency. You can analyze what went wrong. You can identify the specific choice or action that led to the undesirable outcome. This is where the magic of growth happens. The mistake becomes a lesson. Okay, next time, I'll set my alarm 15 minutes earlier. Next time, I'll confirm critical data myself. Next time, I'll speak up immediately when I don't understand. Each mistake, when owned, becomes a stepping stone. It's not a failure. It's feedback. It's your personal roadmap to becoming a smarter, more capable, and more effective version of yourself. So, how do we get better at this? How do we move from that initial instinct of panic and denial to a place of courageous ownership? The first step is to separate the action from your identity. You are not your mistake. Making a mistake doesn't make you a bad person or a failure. It makes you a person who is trying, a person who is learning. We all have an internal critic, that little voice that loves to say, "See, I told you you weren't good enough." We need to learn to talk back to that voice. Acknowledge the feeling of disappointment, but then reframe it. Instead of "I'm so stupid," try "That was a stupid move, and I know how to avoid it next time." See the difference? One is a judgment on your character, the other is an observation of an action. This small linguistic shift can have a massive impact on your self-esteem and your willingness to take responsibility. Next, practice the art of a genuine apology. A real apology isn't just saying "I'm sorry." It has 3 key components. First, clearly state what you did wrong. "I'm sorry that I missed the deadline." No excuses, no justifications. Second, acknowledge the impact it had on others. "I know this put more pressure on the rest of the team and delayed our progress." This shows empathy and that you understand the consequences of your actions. Third, and this is the most important part, state what you will do to fix it or to ensure it doesn't happen again. "I've already reorganized my calendar and set up extra reminders to make sure all my future deadlines are met." This is the part that turns the mistake into an opportunity. It's not just about regret, it's about resolution and commitment to positive change. An apology like that doesn't just smooth things over. It actively rebuilds trust and demonstrates your commitment to being better. Finally, let's talk about creating a culture of responsibility around you. If you're in a position of leadership, whether at work or in your family, your reaction to others' mistakes sets the tone for everyone. If you react with anger and blame, you'll create an environment of fear where people hide their errors until they become catastrophes. But if you react with the same mindset we've been discussing, with the focus on solutions rather than blame, you empower people to be honest. When someone comes to you with a problem they created, try saying what my boss said to me. "Thank you for letting me know. Let's figure this out together." You'll foster an environment of psychological safety, where people see mistakes not as career enders, but as opportunities for collective problem solving and innovation. This is how high-performing teams and strong families are built, not on the absence of mistakes, but on a healthy and productive response to them. Embracing this mindset isn't an overnight fix. It takes practice. It takes courage. It means choosing the harder, more vulnerable path over the easy route of denial. But the rewards are immeasurable. You'll build deeper, more authentic relationships. You'll accelerate your personal and professional growth at a pace you never thought possible. You'll transform from someone who fears failure into someone who learns from it. Every mistake becomes a lesson, every setback a setup for a comeback. You'll stop seeing a world full of potential pitfalls and start seeing a world full of opportunities to learn, to improve, and to succeed. So, the next time you mess up, and you will, because we all do, I challenge you to pause. Take a breath. Resist the urge to hide or blame. Instead, step forward, own it, and ask the most powerful question you can. What can I learn from this? That is the moment you take back your power. That is the moment you turn a mistake into your greatest opportunity. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. I hope this gives you a new perspective on those inevitable bumps in the road. If this resonated with you, please hit that like button and subscribe for more content on living a more empowered and authentic life. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Tell me about a time you owned a mistake and what you learned from it. Let's learn from each other. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.